Alright guys, and welcome to the first official video of the Spectral Order. Alright, so the location that we're going to do a little investigating on today is the Penhurst Asylum. Now this is located in Pennsylvania. So I want you guys to keep in mind though that this structure is highly unsafe. They do guided tours, but they recommend that you do not try to go in by yourself, okay? So big warning on that, okay? Please be careful out there. We don't need to lose any hunters. We need you guys alive and healthy, all right? So let's dig into the meat and potatoes of it. The Penhurst State School and Asylum, originally called the Eastern Pennsylvania Institution for the Feeble-Minded and Epileptic, well, that's a mouthful, was authorized for construction in 1903. It was conceived as a state-funded and operated facility to house only individuals deemed feeble-minded and thus unable to function in normal society. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out what that means. This included physically and mentally disabled persons, individuals with abnormalities, physical or psychological, and mute, deaf, and blind people. Well, if you couldn't figure it out, there you go. It also included those with offensive habits and imperfect speech. When admitted, patients were classified physically as either imbecile or insane, classified mentally as healthy or epileptic, and classified dentally as having teeth, either good, poor, or treated. So I guess what you can gather is they pretty much sent anyone who didn't fit society's standards to this place. And when you really sit down and think about it, that's horrifying. As time went on, the institution would be pressured to also house and hold immigrants, criminals, and orphans. And that's where it takes a turn for the worst. It became the solution for ridding society of all undesirables. In fact, the institution's campus functioned as a highly self-contained city, with residents completing all the tasks necessary to run their small society. It was a collective fear of the others that created the need for a place like Penhurst. In 1913, legislature created a commission for the care of the feeble-minded, which declared that disabled individuals were both unfit for citizenship and a menace to the peace. It called for such people to be taken into custodial care by the government. This served to keep disabled people away from the general population for everyone's safety, as they put it, as well as to keep them from reproducing. Okay, I want you guys to take a minute to let that sink in. Not only are they trying to contain society's undesirables, but they're trying to keep them from reproducing. Really think about that. That's generational murder right there. That's a form of genocide. Even more disturbing than that is the fact that this facility existed for as long as it did. By the 1960s, Penhurst was home to about 2,791 people. Now, I want you guys to take this in, okay? That's almost 900 bodies more than what the max capacity for this facility was. 900 more. At this point, you're pretty much living, sleeping, eating, shitting, and pissing on each other. In 1968, a young reporter did a short TV series on Penhurst, which was the first that most people had even heard of the institution. Many were appalled by the images they saw on their TV sets, including individuals chained to adult-sized cribs and children in cages. Now, we sit here and we talk about what's going on in other countries and things like that, but you got something like this happening right in your neighborhood. This is insane. Allegations of abuse surfaced in the following years. It wasn't until 1987, it's almost 20 years later, that the facility finally closed. The closure came about after Penhurst lost a very large legal dispute filed by a former resident who reported intense physical, emotional, and psychological abuses suffered at the hands of her nurses and caregivers. Apparently, those in positions of power were not only hurting the patients and residents themselves, but also arranging for patients to bully and assault each other. If there's a silver lining to the Penhurst, it's that the horrors suffered there led to sweeping reforms. Its dark legacy changed the way American legal systems, as well as society, treated those with special needs. Of course, today, the asylum is shrouded in ghost tales, as it should be, and reports of paranormal activity. I mean, you got to stop and think. The amount of pain, trauma, and suffering induced in that place, it's bound to leave echoes. As of 2010, though, one building was partially reopened as the Penhurst Asylum's haunted house. Some visitors claimed to hear voices, shrieks, and murmurs of pain from former residents and inmates of the facility. The hauntings are terrifying for multiple reasons. I mean, aside from the typical fear of the paranormal, the ghosts of Penhurst serve as a collective reminder of just how cruel society can be towards its own members. Now, again, let me reiterate. If you're going to go visit, please be careful. If you're going to take the guided tour, good luck. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Bring me back your evidence, your proof if you get any. But if you're going to try to sneak in there and be the bad boy, please be careful, okay? You can get hurt. It's not a place for you to take lightly. On top of all the paranormal activity, there's also structural failures. So you got to be careful if you're going to go ahead and dive in and investigate this place, okay? Need you guys to be safe. I'm not condoning any acts of violence or self-harm, please. Well, that's all we got on the Penhurst Asylum today. Guys, come back to me with your evidence. Come back to me with your finds. This is one of the stops that I am scheduling in on my own paranormal investigations, and I will let you guys know how that goes. I have not decided yet if I would like to investigate the place by myself or if I would like to investigate it through the tour. Now, I will say I do know someone very well who investigated just a tad bit. Now, so she was out on a walk with her daughter, and she never planned on investigating, but she had her phone with her, obviously. And as she's walking through this area, she said she started to feel this like attraction, like something was pulling her towards the building. So she goes to the building. Now, she gets there, she opens the door, and she walks in. And the door to open the building from where she was going in was a huge, heavy metal door, okay? She goes in, she's in there with her daughter, the door's wide open, and she's talking, she's chatting, and then all of a sudden, she tells her daughter to hush, to be quiet. Where she's standing, there's a set of spiral steps that go up to a second floor. You can clearly hear in her video, clear as day, footsteps coming down those stairs, okay? And she had to step back because it scared her because she was so close to the steps. She thought, okay, what if there's, someone, what if there's like a homeless person or a squatter in here and they're dangerous? The steps were that, they were that pronounced that she thought there was someone coming down the steps. No one ever came down the steps, and you can hear the sound as if whoever was stepping down the stairs should have been in front of her at that point, and there was no one there. All right? And then she heard doors banging from inside the building, and they sounded like heavy metal doors. Now, let me tell you something. She shows the door that she used to get in there. The door was so heavy, okay? As she's leaving, she steps out, she turns around, looks into the building again. And it's at this point where she thought she saw a dark shadow down the hall. Okay? Now, in the video, you can just barely see something, but you can't really tell. So she kind of laughs it off as if, oh, I think I'm just spooking myself out here, right? Now, this same heavy door that was open the whole time she was standing in there, and the whole time she's looking down the hallway, she says out loud to her daughter, it might be time for us to go. And when she says that, that door swings shut. Okay? And this is all on video. I'll see if I can get the video from her and show it to you guys. But I'm going to let you guys know that place it's bumping with some activity. So go check it out. Come back to me. Let me know what you found. We'll update the Spectral Order database, and any future investigators or ghost hunters that would like to check it out, you guys can get a full breakdown of how physically dangerous it might be when you decide to go and whether or not it's worth the investigation. All right, guys? So stay safe out there, and remember, don't be an idjit.